Hollywood once had men seen as the perfect gentleman, with deep voices, hypnotic eyes, and flawless looks. They made millions swoon in the 1950s. But behind the glamour was a darker truth. To reach that spotlight, some were pushed into disturbing arrangements. Some were told to undress in hotel rooms, others served cocktails at midnight. But those meetings often meant much more. Some were secretly filmed, blackmailed, and forced into silence. Terrified one leak could destroy everything, at least 25 top leading men reportedly faced these humiliating exchanges. These were A-list stars, faces stamped into Hollywood history. So who were they? Why did men who seemed to have everything have to compromise themselves so early in their careers? That story starts with James Dean, the rebel angel. Summer 1951, Dean was just 20, fresh from Indiana with no money, no connections, and no auditions waiting. All he had was a haunting face and a quiet innocence that made him stand out. That's what drew attention at the Chateau Marmont, whispered about as an after-hours casting spot for powerful insiders. A bartender claimed Dean once attended a private party where young men were called by numbers, not names. Dean was number 6. Sad eyes, messy curls, silent and easy to control, people noticed him fast. One of the first to pull Dean forward was Rogers Brackett, a respected theater director. Brackett wasn't just a lover, he was a sponsor, but the price was heavy. Actress Christine White once said, "I used to hear Dean crying in the bathroom at 3 a.m. more than once, yet by morning he appeared on set like nothing happened." Dean's career started rising after a series of on-demand visits to elite parties where serving cocktails often meant much more behind closed doors. On one occasion, he was reportedly asked to spend the night with an older investor in exchange for a CBS television role. Dean didn't refuse, because he believed one chance on screen could change everything. According to a close friend, Dean was even secretly filmed in a Wilshire Boulevard penthouse while entertaining a powerful studio executive. That tape allegedly became leverage, keeping him tied to a dangerous web of power he couldn't escape. From then on, many claimed Dean's life was tightly controlled. What he wore, where he went, who he dated, everything seemed managed by faceless handlers. Some believed that pressure made him withdrawn, suspicious, almost like he felt watched every day. Dean may have traded pieces of himself for fame, but the glory didn't last. After only 3 breakout performances, he died in that shocking 1955 car crash just as his career was exploding. Then came Marlon Brando, a man surrounded by scandal. At a 1975 press party, Brando reportedly said, "I slept with anyone who could give me a part. Male or female, it didn't matter as long as they had power." That quote fueled endless whispers about Hollywood's darker side. Back in the 1940s, Brando was struggling on New York stages when influential connections allegedly opened doors through private late-night rehearsals. One introduction led to his legendary Stanley Kowalski casting. But Brando's rise didn't stop there. Directors, producers, even reporters were all said to be part of his ruthless climb toward the spotlight. Brando reportedly listed 14 men who helped him with money and influence, and one name that fueled whispers was Jack Warner himself. Stories claimed Warner once helped Brando escape scandal so he could move forward into major roles like Julius Caesar. But not everyone made it out the way Brando did. There was one actor, once linked to those same shadowy circles, whose story turned tragic. Sal Mineo, the rising star from Rebel Without a Cause, climbed fast and crashed hard. Behind the fame was a past he was said to rarely speak about. In 1955, at just 16, Sal was reportedly invited to a private meeting with a famous producer. He later told a friend, "They said I'd get the part if I could convince them I was soft enough." The next morning, his name appeared on the audition list for Rebel. Years later, in a 1973 interview cut from broadcast, he allegedly said, "In Hollywood, if you don't satisfy them, they won't remember your name." After Dean's death, Sal's life reportedly spiraled. Rumors swirled that survival pushed him into compromising arrangements tied to small film roles. By the late 1960s, he tried to rebuild, directing plays and speaking more openly about hidden Hollywood pressures. Then came the chilling twist. A week before his murder, Sal reportedly told a CBS reporter, "I've got names, photos, tapes. If something happens to me, go find them." Days later, in 1976, he was stabbed outside his West Hollywood apartment. Police called it robbery, but many questioned that story, especially after rumors his briefcase held explosive evidence. Sal's death left a haunting warning. Some secrets were never meant to surface. There was another star, even more famous, who lived in constant fear that the truth about his identity could be exposed. Rock Hudson, the polished gentleman on screen but behind closed doors, whispers painted a far darker picture. In the early 1950s, Hudson was reportedly placed on Henry Wilson's list of rising pretty boys, young actors groomed through power games as much as talent. With a chiseled look and deep voice, Hudson seemed made for stardom. But rumors claimed his rise involved much more than auditions. A leaked studio memo allegedly described him as obedient, discreet, and always ready to accompany clients if I nod. They called Hudson the perfect companion. From Beverly Hills hotels to Palm Springs estates, stories claimed he arrived with charm, poured drinks, made conversation, and sometimes disappeared behind closed doors without a word. A recorded call later published by Scotty Bowers allegedly quoted a producer saying, "He can handle 2 people a night as long as no one takes pictures." That claim only fueled the scandal. As Hudson became a sensation with pillow talk and magnificent obsession, some believed he was more than a movie star. He was a secret asset at powerful private gatherings. Rumors swirled that his appearances helped secure hidden investments from wealthy backers. No one knows what was real, but after his death, stories emerged of a note with chilling words, "I was never allowed to say no." And Hudson wasn't alone. Another Hollywood gentleman carried secrets just as heavy, but with even more silence. Cary Grant, the man praised as the perfect gentleman, polished, elegant, untouchable. But behind that flawless image, some claimed he spent part of his early years surviving through arrangements with strangers, navigating the same dangerous shadows that shaped so many careers in old Hollywood. Cary Grant was sold as the man every woman dreamed of, but behind that fantasy, rumors told a very different story. For nearly 2 decades early in his career, Grant lived with Randolph Scott, a Bond magazines called inseparable companions. But Hollywood whispers claimed those Malibu gatherings were much more than elegant parties. According to stories tied to elite insiders, Grant didn't just entertain powerful guests, he helped arrange behind-the-scenes exchanges. One cinematographer even claimed Grant invited 3 directors to his home, vanished upstairs with them, and a week later landed the lead in Bringing Up Baby. Coincidence? Some didn't think so. A leaked Columbia memo allegedly referenced Grant's complete compliance with after-hours studio activities tied to financial backers. Even after becoming a huge star, rumors said he never fully escaped that system. In 1955, reports claimed Grant was seen leaving the Biltmore at 2 a.m. with a mysterious European backer days before signing To Catch a Thief. Maybe that's why he stayed silent through years of gossip. In Hollywood, silence could be survival. Then came Clark Gable, the king of Hollywood. But before Gone with the Wind, his story allegedly began in shadows too. In 1922, at 21, broken, homeless, Gable was taken in by playwright William H. Wright under the label of stage apprentice. But some claimed the arrangement came with heavy expectations. A former neighbor later recalled Friday nights when Wright hosted guests and Clark served drinks with a smile before knowing exactly when to disappear. Those whispered beginnings painted a shocking contrast to the rugged legend the world later worshipped. Before he was a king, some say Gable had already learned how power in Hollywood really worked. After Wright's sudden death, Gable moved to Los Angeles carrying connections from that hidden world with him. According to old studio records, he was once quietly protected from scandal involving a male critic so he could still audition for the Painted Desert. That role became his gateway into Hollywood. MGM boss Louis B. Mayer allegedly once sneered, "Gable knows the price of a tux and the price you pay to wear it on the red carpet." A brutal line that fueled even more rumors. Even at the height of fame, Gable's relationship with director George Cukor sparked whispers, and some believed Gable pushed for Cukor's removal from Gone with the Wind out of fear old secrets might surface. But while Gable buried his past, the next man was said to keep making compromises just to stay in the spotlight. Gene Kelly, the dance legend with a shadowy road to stardom. In 1937, Kelly arrived in New York with 2 suitcases and dreams. One of the first people he met was choreographer Charles Weidman, who reportedly brought him into a private training circle linked to Broadway power players. One former trainee later claimed, "We didn't rehearse. We were judged by our bodies, our obedience, and our flexibility." Kelly passed and was introduced to director Stanley Donen, a partnership surrounded by endless whispers. Even after fame, stories said Kelly faced pressure to attend exclusive gatherings with wealthy investors. A former journalist recalled Kelly dancing all night at a Bel Air mansion, no cameras, no audience, just powerful men, and a contract waiting to be signed. In a 1959 letter to a friend, Kelly reportedly wrote, "They want me to dance for them, but no one asks if I'm tired, if I'm sad." Behind the dazzling smile and effortless moves, some believe Gene Kelly carried a private heartbreak few ever saw. Gene Kelly once wrote, They want me to dance for them, but no one asks if I'm tired, if I'm sad, or if I'm disgusted with myself. A haunting line. Some said that's why, behind the stage lights, Kelly preferred rooms without mirrors and silent walks into the night. Then came Tony Curtis, the perfect face with a price behind the smile. Handsome, sharp, magnetic. He looked like the Hollywood dream. But behind that polished image, Curtis reportedly once told a co-star, "To get roles, I've done things that weren't in the script." In 1948, a young man from the Bronx stepped into Universal, and within minutes, a producer allegedly asked, "I think you could be a star, but first tell me, are you obedient?" That question carried weight. According to industry stories, Curtis spent time living in a casting director's private apartment before landing Criss Cross, the role that put him on the map. Curtis never fully denied those whispers. In a later interview, he reportedly admitted, "I knew exactly how to use my face. It was the most valuable thing I had." Even as Some Like It Hot made him a legend, private writings suggested the road there haunted him. Then there was Anthony Perkins, mysterious, delicate, impossible to ignore. Long before Psycho, stories claimed he moved through New York's hidden social circles, meeting powerful figures who opened doors in exchange for loyalty and charm. One insider allegedly said Perkins was rare. He made people feel like they were the only one. In return, they gave him roles. Rumors even swirled Hitchcock's deal for Psycho, carried private expectations never discussed publicly. In unpublished letters, whispers claimed Perkins hinted fame came with compromises few would understand. Behind Norman Bates stood another man navigating Hollywood's shadows, and his story was only getting darker. In 2007, Perkins reportedly wrote, "I'm not afraid to die for a role. I am afraid people will find out how I had to die slowly to earn it." A chilling confession. After Psycho, many believe Perkins wasn't just typecast on screen, but trapped by the very image that made him famous. In 1972, he allegedly told a psychologist, "I'm no longer me. I'm a deal, a gift that was traded." Those words painted a man haunted by what fame had cost him. Then came Dennis Hopper, the rebel who played dirty just to stay in the game. Wild, reckless, untamed, Hopper looked fearless. But even he reportedly confessed, "I sold my soul for a supporting role." In the mid-1960s, blacklisted and desperate, Hopper was said to have attended a private Mulholland Drive party where struggling actors sought second chances. According to stories tied to Nicholas Ray, one powerful financier helped Hopper return to the screen after one unforgettable night. Soon came a role in The Sons of Katie Elder, and his comeback began. Actress Brooke Hayward once said, "Dennis would endure anything, even humiliation, if it meant stepping in front of the camera again." And in a later interview, Hopper reportedly admitted, "Before I was a bastard, I was a good boy serving rich men just to do what I loved." Explosive words. But if Hopper sold pieces of himself, the next man was said to sell himself for survival. Rudolph Valentino, the original Latin lover. Before women adored him, stories claimed he struggled through New York, taking whatever work he could. According to later biographies, after trouble finding steady work, he was introduced to elite private circles where beauty could be traded for money and protection. One old acquaintance allegedly said Valentino resisted at first, but fear and desperation pushed him in. With threats hanging over his future, he reportedly said, "Yes." Long before he became a legend, some believed Valentino learned the brutal truth. In Hollywood, survival often came before stardom. Every week, someone reportedly came to take Valentino away, and one of those powerful clients was said to be producer Norman Cary, the man rumored to help bring him to California. That connection allegedly led to The Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse in 1921, the film that made Valentino a star. But at what cost? A handwritten note discovered after his death allegedly read, "The world calls me their lover, but the first night I lay still, no one kissed me at all." A heartbreaking line that fueled the mystery around him. Then came Tyrone Power, beauty that never came free. In the 1940s, he was the face of American cinema, adored by women, envied by men, but whispers claimed he learned early that beauty in Hollywood wasn't a gift, it was currency. In 1936, before signing with 20th Century Fox, Power was reportedly invited to Palm Springs by an older producer tied to secret casting retreats. A staff member later claimed Power was first asked to try on swimwear, then asked to try obedience. By morning he had a contract. The rumors only deepened. Some said when Power wasn't filming, elite backers controlled his social calendar. Brown Derby appearances came with whispers he was paying debts with charm. Actor Cesar Romero allegedly said, "Tyrone knew to stay where he was. He had to protect the image." but some stars couldn't protect the image at all. Montgomery Clift, those sorrowful eyes, that haunted look, some believed it came from wounds much older than fame. According to diary entries linked to Elizabeth Taylor, Clift once confessed a friend introduced him to a director to trade intimacy for a role. When asked if he regretted it, he reportedly said, "No, but every time I remember it, I feel like a part of me died." A brutal confession. In 1945, before fame, Clift was said to attend a private Bel Air audition with director Joshua Logan, and some claimed that night changed everything. His rise was coming, but so was the pain that never left him. After that private session, Montgomery Clift reportedly stayed 3 days. An elderly housemaid later claimed he cried a lot, but when he left, he had a contract in his hand. A haunting image. Even after fame, Clift dodged questions about how it all began. Once asked by Variety, he allegedly replied, "I started in theater and in a few rooms where no one was watching." He lived in loneliness, battled addiction, and died carrying secrets many believe never surfaced. One peer even reportedly confessed, "I laid down for someone I didn't love just to live the life of a role." Brutal words. Then came Tab Hunter, the teen idol with a hidden double life. In the 1950s, he was the all-American dream, golden smile, perfect face, adored everywhere. But behind that image was a truth he was said to bury for decades. At 19, Hunter was arrested at a gay party in Long Beach, a scandal that could have ended everything. But stories claim a powerful producer stepped in, not with cash, but with a 5-year contract. Hunter later hinted at the price, saying, "I didn't lose anything, just had to stay the night with someone I couldn't say no to." During his rise, fake romance deals with actresses allegedly helped protect his image. In his memoir, he wrote, "I wasn't chosen for my acting. I was chosen because I was willing to be quiet and beautiful in the way Hollywood needed." Explosive confession. But Tab wasn't the only one living 2 lives. Then came Richard Chamberlain, America's TV dreamboat and a man surrounded by secrecy. As Dr. Kildare, millions adored him, but behind the scenes, stories said he lived in constant fear of exposure. One former assistant claimed private meetings happened with curtains drawn, windows shut, phones unplugged, a hidden life behind a perfect image, and his story was only beginning to unravel. Richard Chamberlain was reportedly pushed into after-hours auditions in Beverly Hills, where powerful insiders judged more than talent. Some claimed roles could hinge on private meetings behind closed doors. When a co-star once suggested going public, Chamberlain allegedly replied, "If I lose this role because I love you, will you be able to feed me?" A cold answer, but one filled with fear. For 40 years, he wore the mask of the perfect gentleman, only admitting the truth much later. But others never even had time to wear a mask. Troy Donahue, the teen heartthrob caught in midnight casting parties. With golden hair and surfer charm, he looked like the dream of the 1960s. But stories claimed when the lights went out, he wasn't going home, he was heading to invitation-only parties, where careers were decided in secret. At one Mulholland estate in 1958, Donahue was reportedly summoned into a room with powerful studio figures. A server later claimed he came out pale as a sheet. Soon after, he landed a 7-year Warner Brothers contract. Coincidence? Many doubted it. In a leaked journal, Donahue allegedly wrote, "Every time I appeared on screen, I had to erase a part of myself," a devastating line. After fame came addiction, collapse, and a lonely end. Proof the dream could turn brutal. Then came Van Johnson, the boy next door who allegedly traded survival for opportunity. Before MGM made him a star, he was broke, sleeping wherever he could. One story claims director George Cukor spotted him in a cheap diner and said, "I don't need you to act, I just need you to behave." That night, Johnson was reportedly invited to an estate and left with a screen test and rent money for months. Later, he allegedly confessed to a friend, "I'm not proud of it, but I didn't want to go back to sleeping on park benches." For some stars, fame didn't begin with applause, it began with survival. In Hollywood, some said people didn't ask who you were, only one thing, will you comply? A chilling rule. Some stars escaped those shadows, others never did. George Maharis, the TV hero, undone by one headline. As Buzz Murdoch in Route 66, he was rugged, handsome, unstoppable. But in 1967, everything reportedly collapsed after a shocking headline linked him to an arrest in a public restroom. Overnight, scandal replaced stardom. Court records fueled controversy, but what shook Hollywood most was how fast studios turned away. One former director allegedly said, "Everyone knew he wasn't cast for acting. He was beautiful and obedient." After the scandal, Maharis largely disappeared, living reclusive and rarely speaking of that night again. Then came John Gavin, the clean-cut face with whispered dirty encounters. To audiences, he was polished perfection, military charm, heroic image. But behind the scenes, rumors painted something much darker. A former studio driver claimed Gavin was often taken late at night to a Santa Monica apartment where men in tuxedos waited. No names, no questions, the driver recalled. He'd return silent, saying only, "Take me home, I need a shower." A chilling detail. Stories claimed those meetings opened doors before scripts were even written. One executive allegedly called him the perfect mask for the filth we were hiding. Explosive words. But the next star's story ended in tragedy. Ramon Novarro, the silent film legend who died in terror, once worshipped as a screen idol, rumors long claimed he spent his youth navigating dangerous arrangements with powerful strangers. Then on October 31st, 1968, police found him dead in his Laurel Canyon home. A brutal scene that shocked Hollywood. His killers were identified as Paul and Tom Ferguson, but the case turned darker when reports surfaced about a list of special clients tied to Novarro's private life. Some believed his death exposed secrets far bigger than robbery. For one of silent cinema's brightest stars, the shadows never let go. Reports claimed Ramon Novarro entertained powerful directors, politicians, and stars from the 1930s through the 1950s. One witness allegedly said, "I met him when I was 17. He said, 'Just behave and I'll get you in a film.'" And reportedly he did. Stories claim Novarro survived under fake names, selling charm to stay afloat, yet died alone in heartbreaking disgrace. Then came a different kind of trap, not survival, but love the world refused to accept. Farley Granger, the innocent boy with a secret life in the dark. After Rope in 1948, Granger looked gentle and untouchable, but behind that softness, rumors swirled of fear, secrecy, and hidden power. In 1950, Granger entered a relationship with screenwriter Arthur Lawrence, a bond said to shape both his heart and career. In his memoir, Granger wrote, "Arthur taught me how to love, how to pretend, and how to lie down when I needed to keep a role." A stunning line. For years, whispers followed every new part he landed. People asked, who opened that door for him? Yet Granger stayed silent. In one late interview, he reportedly said, "I loved I was used, but I don't regret it because if you don't let them touch your body, they'll never let you touch the spotlight." Chilling words. Then came Don Murray, the silent face of unwritten deals. On screen, he looked like old-school decency, calm, handsome, reliable. But behind that clean image, stories suggested compromises hidden from the public. According to an unpublished memoir, Murray was allegedly pressured into a private audition tied to his first major contract. A casting assistant claimed he came out pale and whispered, "I think I just sold my soul to be seen through a lens." What a confession. Murray never confirmed those stories, but never fully denied them either. In a 1982 interview, he made a cryptic remark about Hollywood that only deepened the mystery. Beneath the gentleman image, some believed there was another man carrying secrets no script could ever reveal. Some things were never written into contracts, but some said everyone knew what had to be done before a name ever landed on the dotted line. Guy Madison, America's cowboy idol with secrets behind the saddle. With movie star looks and a heroic image in The Adventures of Wild Bill Hickok, he seemed born for fame. But before stardom, he was just a struggling Navy veteran trying to survive in Los Angeles. Stories claimed what kept him afloat wasn't studio work, but private dinners at elite mansions. A former Beverly Hills hotel employee alleged Madison wasn't hired only to serve food, but to be part of the spectacle. Guests reportedly asked him to stand shirtless like a statue before vanishing behind closed doors. One anonymous director allegedly wrote, "Guy didn't mind, he was gorgeous and understood his role." Another claimed seeing him accept room keys, like a routine he'd rehearsed 1,000 times. Explosive whispers. And even after fame came, some in Hollywood said those early nights were never forgotten. Then came William Haynes, the star who refused to bow. In the late 1920s, he was MGM's king of romantic comedies. But behind the charm was a fight to survive on his own terms. Before success, stories claimed Haynes moved through secret gentlemen's clubs, not just for money, but for connections. A close friend recalled Haynes once saying, "I don't work there for money. I work there to be seen, to be introduced, to be chosen." A stunning line. When scandal hit, Haynes shocked Hollywood by refusing to hide. "I love him. I won't give him up," he reportedly told the press. MGM cast him aside, but he reinvented himself as a legendary interior designer. Yet even late in life, he reportedly admitted he didn't regret loving, but did regret what survival once demanded. In a town built on compromise, William Haynes may have been one of the few who fought back. Not everyone survived Hollywood's hidden bargains. Some sold pieces of themselves to rise, but one man didn't just enter that world, he allegedly helped run it. Scotty Bowers, the secret fixer of classic Hollywood. If anyone knew who was meeting whom behind closed doors, stories say it was Scotty. A former Marine turned Hollywood insider, Bowers reportedly began at a gas station on Hollywood Boulevard, but according to legend, he was doing far more than pumping gas. From the late 1940s on, Scotty was said to connect aspiring actors, struggling models, and desperate newcomers with powerful VIP clients. In his memoir Full Service, he made explosive claims involving some of Hollywood's biggest names. "They came to me because they had no choice," he wrote. "They needed roles, they needed rent, they needed to survive." Chilling words. Bowers claimed he arranged countless secret encounters over decades and held the secrets of an entire era. Whether every story was true or not, his name became tied forever to Hollywood's darkest whispers. And that leaves a bigger question. Were the golden idols of old Hollywood really forced to make impossible choices just to stand in front of a camera? And if that happened then, has anything really changed now? Or has it only become more hidden, more powerful, and even more dangerous? Because behind the spotlight, fame may have come with a price few were willing to talk about. What do you think about these shocking stories? Were these stars victims of a broken system, or did they willingly play the game to reach the top? And if you had the choice, would you protect your truth or trade everything for fame? Let me know in the comments below, because I want to hear your take on this scandal. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who loves old Hollywood mysteries. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next jaw-dropping story coming soon.